What's good, everybody? My name is Jay Fatty. Welcome back to another video. We are going to be talking about Vintage Phaser. FL Studio 21 is officially released. It's no longer betas or anything like that. If you want to download FL Studio 21, check the link in the description or go into your FL Studio and there should be a little update thing. So yeah, check it out. It's fire. We're going to talk about this Vintage Phaser. This effect is awesome. I've had a good amount of time to mess with it and used it on a lot of beats. It definitely brings the vibes. So let's kind of go in depth about what this is. So the Vintage Phaser is a phaser inspired by and modeled after Electro Harmonic Small Stone Phase Shifter. We click on that. That's this thing. Look at that. That looks awesome. I don't know what that is, but it looks like it's made some great music. As used by Jean-Michel Jarre, most famously on Oxygene, and I think that's just an electronic artist. Not just, he's probably a legend, I'm just not familiar. But you can actually go onto the forum and click on all these and learn about the history of stuff. The forum is a great place to really learn about every single thing in FL Studio. So if we read this right here, it says, phasing is the sound you will hear if you put a long pipe up to one of your ears and slowly move it about. It sounds like a whooshing and fading in and out of some frequencies. In a plugin, this happens when you mix a copy of a sound with itself, but very slightly delayed. If you move the delay timing slowly, you get a phaser. So that's cool. Now, let's see this in practice before we really go into it. I'm going to play you this sample without the phaser. Now let's put the phaser on, fully mixed in. So you can really hear that vibe it gives it. Like the description said, it's really almost just, it's like a whooshing sound with the frequencies fading in and out. And you have so much parameters here to mess with it. You can also click this little button right here and have even more parameters, but we'll go into that in a second. So let's start over here on the phasing tab. Essentially, this is your minimum frequency and your maximum frequency. So you can mess with this until you see fit. If we just mess with it a little bit for an example. There's a little button right here, high quality. If you want it to be not high quality, or maybe more low fidelity, you can click that, off. Also have a manual if you want to automate it. In mind, you can automate all of these. Just right click them and create automation clip. Any default FL Studio plugin, anything you see, you can right click and create an automation clip on that plugin. Anything that's a default one in FL. It's pretty dope. And you can also create automation clips for third-party plugins. If you want to see more about that, check the top right now. All right, so now we're going to move into the modulation tab. This lets you have a bunch of different parameters like the start phase, the type of the modulation, the left and right phase, the tension of the modulation, and the speed. So let's mess with this a little bit. I would recommend wearing headphones so you can really hear what's going on. So you can see you can get some really dope, interesting effects there. And then now the delay is self-explanatory. This is just like a normal delay setup. It lets you choose the timing of the delay. You can have it be on BPM by clicking this when it's white like that and it has these little dots that allow you to kind of snap to. That means it's going to be on a BPM delay. Whereas if you take it off, that's just a manual delay. You can set it how you see fit. You can keep the pitch by clicking this button. And then you can also mess with the feedback, the mix, and the stereo width of the delay. If you want it completely left or right, you would choose this. If you want it in the middle, you would choose about right here. Now you also got low pass and high pass filters of the delay. So let's just mess with this a little bit. And then finally, the last little area we can mess with is the levels. This is essentially how much you want to mix in the effect. This mix slider is essentially the same thing as this slider over here, but it's just built in. So you can also choose to add some noise. You could put a noise gate on it if you want and also mono the input. All right, so let's get into this advanced options here. When we click this settings cogwheel, we get a bunch more knobs for options here. We got color gain, color frequency, input, high pass, feedback, high pass, rate frequency, two of those rate frequencies, LFO scale and LFO pulse. So let's mess with these a little bit. Let's mess with the color gain and the color frequency. That really just amplifies the lower sub and the lower mids and the lower bass frequencies from what I can hear. But I feel like it really is just beefing up this sample. Just by messing with those, especially these rate frequencies, you can get some crazy effects. Remember, you can right click and create automation clip for any one of these or link it to a controller. So you can automate some cool rate frequencies like. So yeah, that's essentially the basics of vintage phaser. You can get some really cool sounds on your samples or whatever you choose to put it on. It's going to add that nostalgic vibe and that nostalgic sauce. Don't be afraid to mess with those advanced settings. Like you saw, you can get some serious effect change. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If this video brought you value, please leave a like, hit subscribe, and hit the little bell. Make sure you stay safe, stay striving, and always be getting it. Much love, y'all. Peace.